Hey guys, Shelby Smith here with Jim and Eat Crickets. Just hopping on to talk to you guys about things to consider when you are choosing which breed of crickets that you would like to raise as you start your cricket farm. So obviously, before you even decide what breed you're going to raise, you had to have figured out why you're going to raise them. So are you going to be raising them for the live market? Are you going to be raising them for human consumption? This needs to be determined before you decide what breed you're going to raise, because it will have an impact on some of the things that you may be choosing from, whether it be flavor profile on the human side, or I don't know, even robustness or ease of dealing with on the live market side. Things that may impact one, may not impact the other. So the first thing you need to do is decide, why are you doing it? The next thing, as with all of the rest of these videos, I am no expert, so I don't know all of the options out there. I am in the middle of central Iowa in the US, so what may be available here to me may not be available to you. It also may not be legal where you are, wherever you may be, different countries, all that kind of stuff. Here in the US, we are limited on the breeds that we can ship live across all 50 states. And so those were the ones that I was initially choosing from. Another thing to consider that also has to do with your location, obviously not just the ones that are legal wherever you are, but depending on whatever your natural conditions are. So let's say that you live in the middle of Georgia or somewhere like that in the southern US that's really just hot and oppressively humid. You may want to go with a breed that can tolerate a higher humidity, so you're not constantly fighting that. Additionally, something else that has to do with location that maybe you might overlook is your access to more breeding stock, if that makes sense. You are going to want to, depending on how big you scale, honestly, regardless of how big you scale, you're going to want to be introducing new genetics on a fairly regular basis. And that's just for the health of your overall population. So whatever breed you go with, make sure that you are going to have a reliable access to that breed. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time introducing new genetics, and eventually that will take a toll on your population. Something else to consider is, I don't know what to call this, temperament, behavior. The word, there is a word for it and it's totally slipping my mind. Different breeds have different aggression levels, I guess, is what I would say. So the two most common here in the US, especially in the human consumption market, are the banded cricket and the house cricket. Many people have shied away from the house cricket because of the cricket virus and the fears around that, and I totally understand that. That is justified. However, back when I was initially doing research, whatever I looked at could have been totally wrong, but everything I read said that banded crickets were more aggressive. What I was thinking of doing in terms of scaling and all of that, I didn't want to have a bunch of aggressive crickets, even if that meant they're just butt heads to each other. Didn't matter. It just wasn't something I wanted to deal with. I wanted a more docile animal. So I went with common house cricket instead. Additionally, the things that I read in terms of flavor profile, and now having experience with it, I would tend to agree. House cricket tends to have a milder flavor, and it's a better appearance. It ends up being a lighter powder, which seems to be preferred by consumers. So those are things that you definitely need to consider as you're choosing breeds. And as I sort of alluded to in the last point, for me especially in the human consumption market, flavor is everything. So ultimately that was one of the main drivers for my decision in going with Echidna versus the banded cricket. Is the flavor profile supposed to be better? Yes, I understand that the banded ones are technically more robust against your cricket virus, but if you have good biosecurity protocols all through your supply chain as far as feed, as far as who you're allowing to visit the farm, all of that kind of stuff, your risk for that is so exponentially low that for me it just made more sense to go Echidna. To each their own. If there were any other things that you think that I missed that need to go into this decision-making process, please let me know. Drop them in the comments. I will continue to reiterate in all of these videos that I am not an expert. I'm speaking from the experiences that I've had. So super happy to get any feedback, and thanks for watching.